Hello YouTube. This week I've got the keys to a 2017 Buick Lacrosse. Let's take a look. So this is the 2017 Buick Lacrosse in I think it's crimson red. This one here is front wheel drive. It is available in all wheel drive as well. It's, I think, $46,000 to start, and this vehicle has a couple of packages on it, and that bumps the price up to $50,000 after PDI and freight. So it's not inexpensive, especially for a front-wheel drive sedan. And Buick kind of sits between, Cadillac and GM as, a pseudo luxury brand. They're trying to redefine themselves from, not being your grandpa's kind of Buick to being more sporty and more modern. And the look of the car is definitely, the front end looks really good. It is sporty. The back too, look, it kind of swoops down, and a more sporty rear end on it with the chrome tips on the exhaust pipe as well. And it does look good. So let's take a look inside the trunk. Now this is kind of cool. Volkswagen's got a similar thing, but this one doesn't flip down. This one you just press here and the trunk pops up. It's not automatic, but it kind of pops it up. And you've got, this is a large sedan, so you've got, a pretty big trunk size. And you've got your pull downs for your 60-40 split seats with the 60 side on the passenger side here. So I'll pull that down, and I'll have to flip it from inside. It doesn't just flip right down. This one came with a cargo net. I don't think that was a feature. I think it actually comes with it. That wasn't extra or anything. And you've got your battery is actually in the trunk here. So there's your battery. So that's in the trunk. That's it for the trunk, really. So I'll show you the 60-40 seats. Their interior, as you would expect, at $50,000, of course. Now there's the flip-down seat, and it's not full opening here. There is a shelf in that, so you don't get a full-size opening, but it gives you a pretty good amount of space for carrying some flat pack items, and it's not completely flat either. In the back seat here, you've got quite a bit of legroom, actually. This seat, this I'm on the passenger side here, and this seat is actually pretty far back. You've got map pockets on either side, and you've got vents as well. And down here at the bottom, you've got your household 120 outlet as well as a 12-volt outlet. And, nice wood trim along here with aluminum accents. And this is all leather. And the Buick Lacrosse just recently won Ward's top 5 interiors for this year. And it is a nice interior. It does look really sharp. Here's a view of the front dash area, and it does have a gigantic panoramic sunroof as well. And I'll open that up from the front. Whenever you enable your dash here, you're treated to some cool logos and stuff here with the Buick logo and the IntelliLink logo here on the display. It's a little bit dusty. There you go, Wi-Fi network connected. So you also get a Wi-Fi connectivity in this car. With most of the GMs now, you're getting that 4G LTE Wi-Fi, so you can connect your laptop or your phone and get internet access. Now you will pay a monthly fee for that, of course, for that service. So in the front, you do have pretty nice interior. It is, I'm not sure if this picks it up exactly, but this is really high because there is an all-wheel drive model. The lower unit here is pretty high. So this kind of makes you feel like you're in kind of a pod or a cockpit or something. So that's a love it or hate it type of thing. Probably some people may not like that at all, but at first I thought it was odd, but I've gotten used to it over a week. It's not too bad. You do have this digital shifter, which is similar to what BMW has, but yet different. If you just pull on it, it won't go into drive. It'll stay in park. You have to hold the button to pull on that to get that into drive, and you can kind of switch to the manual mode as well, and then you can use the paddle shifters. If you want to go into reverse, however, you have to hold the button, go up, and go over to get into reverse. And I found that if you do it quickly, so if you pull back, it just goes into drive. You don't need to push the button. Now I'll hold that button, go up, and it'll work that time. So sometimes I found that it doesn't work. I don't know, maybe because I'm rolling forward still a little bit or something, but I found that it won't always go in super quickly. And then you hit the button to put it in park, or if you shut off the car, it'll go into park as well. See there, that time it didn't work. So if you do it too fast, it won't go into reverse. So I just wanted to show the reverse camera here with the lines that do move, and it shows you your parking spot as well as red and orange. And it actually is a nice wide view. It actually gives you a nice clear view of your surrounding area. Throw that into park. The rest of the interior, is nicely finished. You've got 2 cup holders here, a place for your phone here, which actually has some grippies in it, and it works really well. And I've got a large phone, and it fits no problem. In the center armrest here, you've got storage, as well as 2 USB and auxiliary input and a 12-volt adapter. And this car does have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so you can use you stick your phone in here, plug that in. Down underneath, it's hard to see, but it's kind of down here. There is another 12-volt down there, and this is kind of rubbery. You can stick some stuff in there. Dual zone, automatic climate control, 3-setting heated seats for the driver and the passenger, as well as ventilated seats. Traction control, parking sensors, and lane departure assist. So it will pull you if you go out of the lane. If you let go of the steering wheel for about 10-15 seconds, it'll beep at you and tell you to put your hands back on the steering wheel. It does have parking assist as well, or self-parking. So if you hit this button, it'll actually show you here, you can do parallel parking, and you can do that on either side. So you can click on the screen to pick the other side, or you can simply turn on your signal light, and this will switch sides, which is cool. And you can also, if you click on that one, you can perpendicular park between 2 cars. It's not bad. I tried it. I pull up, between a couple of cars, and as I drive by under 30 kilometers an hour, it'll beep at you, tell you to stop, put it in reverse, and then it'll take over the steering, and you still got to control the brake a bit. And it'll tell you to stop, put it in drive to kind of move forward and turn around and that and get in the spot. It worked really well. If you've got somebody behind you that's impatient and wants to get in, though, you can probably park it faster if you're good. I had no problem. I actually stopped the system and just finished because it was kind of moving the car around, and somebody was trying to get by, so I just stopped it. Also in the screen here, we've got audio settings, and you've got your climate control in here, and then all those kinds of things, these features that I usually show in my videos, but there's not a ton in this one. It's somewhat basic. You can get an upgraded system with navigation. This one doesn't have the navigation. It's got OnStar Nav. So what that is, if you click on that, you call up OnStar, you ask them for directions to wherever you're going, and they'll download that to the car, and then you'll have the directions. Now, it does take a little bit longer than typing in yourself, and you've got to call somebody if you don't like calling people, and you do have to pay for that service. So, but thankfully it does have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so you can just plug your phone in and deal with that. Now inside the dash here, you'll see that I'm low on fuel, but I have driven this car a lot. I've done 600 kilometers so far, and I've got amazing fuel economy. It's got a 3.6 liter V6 engine, and it's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And I've gotten 7.9 liters per 100 kilometers already. So that's amazing, I think. I've always kind of maintained that a bigger car, or a car with the bigger engine, is appropriate for highway use instead of a small car with a small engine. I haven't seen that fuel economy even in compact cars these days on the highway. So on the dash here, you've got your typical gauges, your speedometer in the middle, tachometer over here, and your fuel gauge and water temperature. Something you don't see that often, you've got an oil temp gauge as well as a battery voltage gauge. And you can flip through these menus, and there's a ton of them, and you can actually customize which menus you want to have available on here. So that's, that one here is showing you your fuel economy over the last 80 kilometers, which is what was 7.6 for me, and at some point 6.2 over 80 kilometers. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. You can have your speedo in the middle. It also has head-up display, so you'll have your head-up display information as well. And you can change, go back here, so you can have, your audio in there as well and show you, what songs are playing. And you can change that. You can have your phone, your navigation. And if I go under options here, you can also change this display to look completely different. And you can have so it was on sport mode, which I think is the better mode anyways. And then you've got touring mode, which shows you a digital speedometer, and you get rid of the kind of analog gauge, and then you also have all your other settings in the middle again. So I'm not quite sure why you would have this touring one. It's not really that informative. It doesn't give you any more information, or it just kind of displays it a little bit differently, whereas the sport gives you everything. So I'd rather kind of have everything than have less information, but that's just me. On the steering wheel, you've got those buttons to move the menus around. You've got your volume control, your phone and voice controls, as well as your cruise control settings here, which has gap distance, so it does have radar cruise control. And you've also got a heated steering wheel, which is really nice to have. On the left, you've got your headlights, automatic headlights. These knobs are kind of small, but I think that makes sense. If you never use it really, just put it on auto and just leave it there. These here kind of pop out, and this is for your dash display, the brightness of that, and you've got your fog light switch. Parking button, so this is for your parking brake down here, and your head-up display. You can change what information as well as change the brightness of it, and you can move it up and down a little bit. Not sure if, so it won't pick it up right now. I'll try to brighten it up. There we go. That should pick it up on the camera. It's pretty darn bright, and you can change what information is on there. So I can change it to be my tachometer and the speed, and I have my songs on there and the navigation on there. So you can have multiple things. Now, what else pops up on here, which is pretty cool, is if there's a pedestrian on the road, you'll see a little picture of a person show up. It comes up in orange right beside the kilometer an hour setting there, and it'll show you a little person, so you can see if there's somebody walking on the side of the road. You'll see it come up there, and that'll alert you that there's somebody there. It also has the panoramic sunroof that I mentioned from the back, and that's an automatic shade. So we hit that button, that'll pull that back. And of course, the sunroof has your tilt and move back and all that kind of stuff that I can show you, but I'm not going to waste time in the video on that. But also in the back here, on the back window, so there's a button up here. I'm going to show you back here. You've also got a shade for the back. So if you really like to have things darkened out, there you go, you've got that as well. The seat's powered, of course. You've got fore and aft, up and down, lumbar support, all those fancy things. The steering wheel is powered as well, so you've got tilt and telescopic powered steering wheel. You also have 2 memory seats, so you can set your memory seat settings over here. And automatic windows. The front windows are auto down and up, and the rear windows are only auto down, not auto up. The rest of the interior, let's just kind of do the feel test. This is all leather. This is actually squishy leather. It's nice and soft, and that's probably why it won for its price range. Won an award. Everything kind of looks like leather. I'm not sure if this is leather covered. It could be. It's nice. It's hard. I think it is leather covered. It's got the nice stitching. It feels really nice. You got the leather stitching all along the side here, and you've got the leather seats as well. So, and everything is here kind of nicely trimmed. The only weird thing I find is you've got this nice Buick logo here, but you've got a huge gap here. And it does give you a ton of arm space, so try to get this on the camera. I'll close the door, and normally you can barely fit anything here. And this one here, you've got quite a bit of space. You know, you could drop your cell phone there sideways, and you'd be fine. So I think that's all for the interior, and let's take it for a drive. Now it does have 310 horsepower, which is pretty good. And again, another car with winter tires. I'm going to keep harping on this, I guess. So there is a little bit of road noise, but it's pretty good. I went on a long highway drive and I was not tired after. It's pretty quiet in this thing, and if you get rid of those, it's got Michelin Excise tires on it. If I take that factor out, this car is pretty darn quiet. The last GM I had, the Malibu, the suspension was very clunky. And very noisy. Although the car was quiet, the suspension was noisy. This car does not have that problem at all. Everything is really dead silent on it, which is really great. The horsepower, you know, as I said, 310 horsepower, 8-speed automatic transmission, great on fuel. It's plenty quick. It's not a rocket ship, but it pulls pretty good and it gets you up to speed in a short order. You're not going to win any races against, say, a BMW 540 that I drove a few weeks ago. It was a rocket at 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4 seconds. This one's probably more like 6 seconds, maybe 6.5 seconds, but it does it well. So how does it handle? It is a big American sedan. It's not floaty like the old school sedans, but it's a soft suspension. It rides really well over rough pavement and it handles okay. Like, you can turn into a corner pretty quick and it'll grab, but you're not going to be tossing this car around. This is kind of a straight highway, which is basically what I drive most of the time. Straight highway kind of cruiser, get comfortable, and it does, as I actually forgot to mention, it does have massage seats. It kind of massages the lumbar, and that lasts about 10-15 minutes, and then you got to restart it, probably to save the motors. There it is, the 2017 Buick Lacrosse. Buick is redefining itself, giving you a more sporty look. Perhaps not the sportiest car in their lineup. It's basically a highway cruiser. I forgot to mention, it does have blind spot detection, and as I mentioned, the radar cruise. It does make it a great highway car. It's quiet and comfortable on the highway, and it is available in all-wheel drive, this model being the front-wheel drive. The other thing I didn't mention is the front-wheel drive and traction control work so well together. Even in the rain, I could stomp on that throttle with the steering wheel turned, and that traction control would take over before the wheels would spin. You could get some spin and a little bit of feel from that, but you couldn't really tell. It almost felt all-wheel drive. That's how much grip it had. There it is. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.